Craig, it was a good win on Saturday just gone, also a clean sheet, and the first time in 6 competitive fixtures this season that we haven't been coming from behind.
It's not a, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? You don't ever want to be in that position. You want to win the game and following off with a victory. But obviously, it's a good trait to have if you can go from behind and come back. Which I think 3 or 4 of them games we did. To avoid defeat and then win games as well. So it's from a character trait, it's really, really good. But from a starting trait and a football trait, we don't really want to be going behind too often. We want to try and dominate games from the first whistle. And I thought we'd done that on Saturday. Even from the first whistle, I think we kept possession of the ball for 3 or 4 minutes before Pontypridd even touched the ball, and we carried on our dominance from then on in.
And it is Barrytown United here at Park Hall this coming weekend. Although we are familiar with them, nevertheless, it's the start of a new season and all clubs have new players coming on board and new coaches and managers as well. So is there a sense at this stage that there's still a little bit of the unknown?
There is a little bit, but I went to watch them against Bala 2 weeks ago, and obviously they were live on TV. Against Colwyn Bay, and obviously got the footage and watched that as well, so we're prepared and give them the respect that they're due and done our due diligence. And they've got 6 or 7 players that were in the team 2 years ago when they won the Welsh Prem. I know Jenks quite well, so he's going to want to be making a good impression. The players are wanting to go making a good impression to the manager. They've obviously got beat the first game and drew the second, so they're going to be doing their best to try and get a victory on the board as soon as possible. So we're not going to take anything for granted whatsoever.
And although they only have 1 point so far, it was a very late goal they conceded at Bala Town, and also an exceptional equaliser at home on Saturday just gone. So at this stage of the season, would it be true to say that the table hasn't really started to take shape yet?
Yeah, as I've just said, I was up at Bala to watch them. There was nothing in the game whatsoever. The game sort of spun towards Bala once Barry had the man sent off, and they put a bit of pressure on them the last 10-15 minutes, but I still don't think there was an awful lot in the game, so that could have quite easily been a draw. And as you say, obviously Colwyn Bay have scored an absolute worldie, a contender for goal of the season in the second week of the season without a shadow of a doubt. So I think Jenks will probably be thinking a bit unfair done to, really, and probably from a manager's point of view, that's the ones that you want just going for you hold out and get a point away, and then maybe that worldie doesn't go in and you get your 3 points and you're sitting with 4 points instead of 1. So yeah, it's I think they've probably possibly been a little bit unlucky, but we'll be looking forward to our home game against them. It's like you said, they're a big club. They're back in the league, and they bring a good following. They've got good supporters, and it's we're looking forward to another home game as well.
And although you will be totally focused at this stage on Saturday's game, nevertheless, 3 days later, we do travel to Colwyn Bay. Will that affect your team selection in any way, shape or form?
I think at this moment in time, we haven't got the the luxury of doing that because of the injuries we've got. It sounds very cliche and very boring, but we are literally putting our strongest team out on Saturday. Then we'll have a look, and we'll recover on Sunday and Monday and see where we are for Colwyn Bay. And the same goes for we've got another game on the Friday night as well, Aberystwyth at home. So we've got I think we've got three games in a 7-day period, a 6-day period, should I say. So yeah, we'll be just every game will be, like I said, it's very, very boring, very cliche, but it literally is. With the 6 or 7 injuries we've got, we're getting players back. But I'm not too sure anyone's going to be back in time for Saturday.
Last week we spoke about the 2 new signings, Jared and Benny. It was good to see them on the bench. Also a positive thing that you weren't forced to perhaps bring them on when maybe that wasn't in the intentional plan. Yeah,
look, they're both young lads. Benny's got more experience in senior football than Jared has. They're both finding their feet, bedding their way into the club. They've both got huge potential. Both very good footballers. And we'll be needing them without a shadow of a doubt. But it always takes a little bit of time to bed in, and we've managed to get them another week of training this week, which is good. So they've had 2 to 3 weeks now, so they understand how we want to play. They've seen 2 of our games. The Connah's Quay last week, and obviously Pontypridd this week just gone. So they understand how we want to play. We've got more time on the training pitch with them. We've got they know everything that's going on now. So we've given them 2 or 3 weeks to bed in. So yeah, they'll be pushing for positions in the in the coming future.
And you mentioned the training there, Craig. How have things been going this week so far?
Yeah, good. It's nice to get a week's training. You know, it is. You know, we obviously got a lot of midweek games coming up with the Scottish Challenge Cup the following week. We obviously then, ourselves and Bala, play an extra midweek game because both represent Wales in the Scottish Challenge Cup. So, and then there's obviously, I think the week after that I think it's a midweek game against Carnarvon. So we've got there's games thick and fast, but you know, it's probably coming at probably a wrong time for us regarding injuries. But like I said, you know, we'll get on with it and we move forward, and you know, we've got a strong squad. That's what the strong squad's there for. As I've said in the past, every player that's in the squad is in there for reason and good and on merit on their own ability, and they'll play a huge part moving forward in the next month.